video game show. It's a video game show. It's not a game show about videos. It's a video game show.
Welcome to Gamercast Network. I am your host, Tom, and this is episode number 6 for Friday, October 6th, 2006, the Satan episode. Let me introduce our evil VGS panel in Silicon Valley, California, Bob!
I saw a fat woman fall off a treadmill at the gym. And it was even funnier because she tried to get back on without turning it off and then face planted into it again. It was awesome. That totally made my week.
Did you at least point and laugh?
Actually, I was very aloof about the whole thing. I didn't realize it was funny till 5 minutes later. As she fell, I was just like, yes, fat woman fell. Get this out of here. Away with her. You're distracting me from my workout. Oh, look, she fell again. Idiot.
In Cleveland, Ohio, Chad.
Hey.
Ivan.
Batman sucks.
Keith.
I saw a video of a chimp beating a man who slapped him.
Okay.
This week, Chris Palladino is on location in Orlando, Florida for the EA Superman Returns launch event, and we'll have a short interview with Chris later in the show.
Next topic.
It's time for housekeeping. This is the part of the show where we talk about what's going on in the Gamercast Network community. This week on Gamertag Radio, Godfrey interviews Cesar Menendez from the Microsoft Zune team about Microsoft's upcoming iPod competitor. Cesar reveals how the Zune will integrate with the Xbox Live service. Godfrey and Nano also discuss their experiences at the secret Nintendo Wii party held in Miami this past week. For all this and more, check out episode number 73 of Gamertag Radio at gamertagradio.com. Gamercast Network World of Warcraft giveaway continues! Don't forget, to win the World of Warcraft Collector's Atlas, submit mail for the mailbag by midnight Thursday, October 12th. The prize winner will be announced during episode 7 of the video game show. Next week, we'll also announce our next World of Warcraft giveaway item and contest. For details, visit gamercastnetwork.com/wow. Now we just need to think up a contest for next week. I have no idea. Suggestions?
Are we doing that every other week? Is that the plan?
Well, we gave people 2 weeks to send in mail because by the time the last show aired, it was like it came out on Tuesday and they would have had to send mail by Thursday.
No, that's cool. So yeah, we're not doing anything for that this week. We're giving them another week to send in.
Yeah.
Mail. Okay.
We have to do like the write like GCN on yourself and go funny places, or actually, I don't know. I'm out of ideas.
Because we're gonna get pictures of and I don't want.
Yeah.
Or make a GCN poster and post it up in your school and take pictures of it. Ostracize yourself from all the girls in your school.
Hopefully not all of our listeners are still in school.
All of our listeners are still in school. Except for Rothbart.
Well, our forum community they're like 20s, 30s.
Anyway, we'll think of something. Keep
Yeah.
going. Show.
All right. More show, please.
Bob's got fat people to watch fall off of
That's right.
equipment.
The funny doesn't watch itself.
And finally, I want to say welcome to all our new listeners. I know over these last 2 weeks, a lot of new people have found us through iTunes, and I want to take a moment to give a little backstory to how Gamercast Network came into being, because we've actually taken some flack recently in the comments section of our iTunes page. A couple of people have called us Microsoft shills, and if they didn't follow us here from the old show, that is, if they only know us from Gamercast Network, then I can completely understand where they're coming from. So hopefully we can kind of dispel some of that here. Basically, the video game show, it was started by Chris Palladino in April 2005. Chris produced 67 weekly episodes, and with the exception of Chad, all the rest of us were involved one way or another with the old show during its 1.5-year run. Now, Chris, he did such a great job with the old show that Microsoft asked him to join the Microsoft Xbox community team. So basically, with Chris having to move out to Seattle where Microsoft is, he wasn't able to continue podcasting anymore. And the rest of us didn't want to see the podcast die, so we started Gamercast Network. But we've been very fortunate in that Chris has been able to sit in on all of our shows so far. And when you have somebody from the Microsoft Xbox team actually sitting in on your podcast, then it's completely understandable that people are calling us biased. But one of the things that we were proud of on the old show is that we used to get all this mail saying, hey, you guys are really unbiased. You guys are really fair. You guys aren't fanboys.
The other thing is that since we started Gamercast Network is Sony's quickly slippery sliding slope into the oblivion of this. So all we've been doing recently is praising Microsoft because they seem to be doing everything right, whereas Sony just seems to be doing everything wrong.
They're also the only one with a console out.
That's true. So I can tell you though, for the listeners, keep listening because quickly approaching is the Wii launch, and I think all of us
I'll be picking up a Revolution, yes.
Yes. All of us in some way or another are excited about the console formerly called Revolution, and we'll be talking a lot about that. So
I'll be talking about Chris Ivan's Wii.
Yes.
On a
I'd like to see Chris Ivan's Wii, because I'm not sure if I'll have my own, so I'd like to see his.
You're
Possibly
more than
Keith,
welcome
too.
to come out and play with my Wii whenever you like.
Okay, we need to stop because I think we promised never to make those kind of jokes on this show.
But it's so easy.
I know. It's fine. We need to make more jokes about leprechauns and dwarves. That's okay. That kind of Wii joke is fine.
Next topic.
The Nielsen Entertainment Group did a survey of active gamers in the U.S.
Are these the TV people?
I think they are associated with TV people, but this is like their entertainment group. What we have here is we're just going to basically run off some of their more interesting questions and see if you guys can think of what the numbers would be.
4,
42,
19,
63,
Lumberjacks, gargoyles,
Hi.
calligraphy.
What do you guys think is the number of active gamers in the U.S. who are over the age of 45 years old?
100,000.
Well, see, this is kind of screwy because are they counting office workers who play solitaire? I mean, that's like the kicker. That's like the thing that could skew all the numbers. Like my guess. Do I go on the internet and play a flash game while I'm bored out of my wits in my cubicle?
They actually do give a definition. Active gamer is someone over the age of 13 who owns a gaming device and plays at least 1 hour per week.
That could be a pump.
Yes, they don't really say what the gaming device is, so it could be anything, like a doll, pump.
So any PC could be a gaming device.
52,481.
The answer is 15 million,
What?
or 13% of active gamers.
So you're saying 13% of the people who play video games are over 45?
Yes.
Okay, I buy that. Because they're counting solitaire.
What is the percentage of active gamers who play on mobile phones?
0, because that doesn't count.
I play Tetris on the can with my phone every day.
18.6941.
I'll say 5.5.
Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to low range. I'll say 5% of the active video game players actually use their cell phone for anything like that.
Okay, the number is 24%.
Oh, hell yeah, baby. Price of Right rules, I win that one.
What is the percentage of online gamers who are women?
I'll stick with the 18%. That seems to be a good number for me.
Bob?
45.
Tom?
See, the minimum is 1 hour a week. Goes back to the office thing. They're going to play Hexen or Zuma on the PC at work, but are they playing an hour's worth of that
Oh,
to
just pick
qualify?
a number.
You know what? I'm going to say 50. You can't go wrong with 50.
Yeah, you can. You'll see in about 5 seconds how wrong it can be.
Ivan, any?
I was going to say like 50.
The answer is 64%.
Wow.
And the closest without going over was Ivan.
All right.
Here's a good question for this group. What is the percentage of active gamers who play on a PC?
47.
Keith?
38.
Bob?
Closest without going over, huh? 39.
Tom?
Yeah, this is 100%. Everyone plays games on the PCs. What else is there?
Nice.
Good call.
Another 64%.
Dude, we suck
won?
at these games.
I know.
How come every game we have, we just, are horrible at?
We have no idea what the general public wants. Just, resolve yourself to that fact, and we can continue with the show.
The ratio of men to women in overall gaming universe.
1/4.
Okay, 1/4.
I was going to say it's like 1-to-1.
No way. I'm going to say, 1.5 to 1 women per man.
1 to 4, man.
If
1
they're
to 4.
counting office games and crap, 1.5 to 1.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting that they're saying one. They're counting solitaire.
Tom?
I'll just say 2 to 1.
And the answer is 2 men to 1 woman. What is the percentage of games bought online?
Oh, Jesus. 70, because gamers are lazy. And just have the mailed to their house.
I'm going to go 63% because that's my football number.
Now, I'm still really resistant to buying online. I'm going to say only 25% do.
Ivan?
Say pie. Say pie. Say pie.
Pie. Say pie, you son of a... Say it.
Pie, you son of a... Say pie. Say pie, Ivan. Say pie.
3.14159.
Yes!
Very nice.
The correct answer is 10%.
Can he win?
Next topic.
Godfrey from Gamertag Radio in the house.
A month ago, I got an email from one of our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Nintendo Wii ambassador. So he was telling me about a private party that he's going to have with Nintendo. We finally got to go last week, and it was kind of weird. Everybody had a password.
They went pretty ape with the security on the secrecy.
Yeah. We got a text 2 hours before the
Yeah,
party.
that's what I was reading, and that just kind of blew my mind that they're trying to be that. I mean, yeah, it causes more hype for it, but
Were you allowed
But
to bring
it-
people, or was it just you?
Only 5 people, because they were on the list, you know. So man,
So you had to be on the list to even do anything.
Yep.
So like, if you brought Nano down there with you, and he wasn't on the list, they wouldn't even let him in.
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
The big Nintendo bouncers will kick him out.
No, but not only that, like we got there, they were
Bowser
like,
and
look,
Donkey
go.
Kong.
Yeah.
They were like, don't bring your cell phones. So I was like, okay.
Did
Everybody
they
was a
frisk
little
you at
bit-
the door or something?
Yup. No, not the door. Before we went to the bus, they did that.
So there was a bus. They pick you up at your home?
No, the thing was, we had to meet up in a parking lot.
Okay.
Oh, that
All
sounds
right, and-
nice.
Oh, but then they covered the bus. So remember, we left our phones.
Sounds
we
like the
left
start
our
of a horror movie or a porn.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we left our phone, we left our cars over there, and then we got into the bus. They cover the whole thing. And
Like
I'm
they cover the windows?
Yep, they cover
mean?
the windows.
Oh my god.
So I was like, what the hell is going on in here? We were like freaking out. So I was like, okay, whatever. They're probably going to surprise us or something. So then,
Or
a few
kill
minutes
you.
later, or kill
I
us,
can't
yeah.
believe these guys left all contact with the outside world behind. This is great. I didn't know it was
Yeah.
this easy.
No, but the funny thing, Nano was just quiet. He was like, yo, what the hell's going on? He was like looking at me the whole time. So then they took us to this ghetto, I'm talking about a really bad area in Miami. And I was like, man, this is getting freaky right now, man. I can't believe this. Like Nintendo taking us to a really bad area, you know, but once we got to the warehouse, inside they had it all nice set up.
They had a big ditch and a handful of shovels.
Yeah, they knock you out. Next thing you know, you wake up somewhere in Japan and you're in like a
Missing a
DS
kidney.
factory.
Good thing there was a couple of cops over there too, man. I was like, oh, I'm safe just in case of anything.
But I gotta say, I mean, yeah, that seems weird and all, but in a way, it is kind of cool. Because it's just.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. It was just kind of weird at first, you know. And we got there, they had 6 TVs, 6 Wii's. That sounds pretty funny. 6 Wii's.
Like, how many people were there total?
30 people in total.
Oh, so it was
not
a pretty
big,
small
it was-
event. Okay.
Yeah, it was a small event. We had a chance to play Excite Truck, WarioWare. That was my favorite WarioWare. Zelda. I don't know, man.
Wait, so does it matter where your Wii is in terms of like the sensitivity of the remote?
No, the thing is, that's a sensor that you just put it on either on top or the bottom of the TV.
How big is that
So,
sensor? I mean, is it really noticeable if you have like a nice TV and you're gonna put this ugly sensor up there? I mean,
You can notice this. I mean, it's not huge, but it's kind of small.
Well, that's what I want to
Yeah.
ask. How intuitive is the controls? I mean, like, is it pretty much you can pick up the control and after fumbling around with it for about 5 minutes or so, you're pretty comfortable with it, or is it?
No, yeah, I
something
got
that-
comfortable. I got comfortable right away, especially with Wii Sports, like boxing, bowling. It was really easy to pick up. It wasn't too hard, but like.
But with the
Zelda
boxing
was-
games, can you punch? I mean, it's like a normal punch.
Yeah, it's
motion?
punch. Yeah, you use your nunchuck and you use the remote. And
But you did say it got tiring after a while. Like
yeah, I was
actually-
sweating, man. I was sweating. I'm the type of guy that haven't done exercise in a while, and the next
My
day
fat
I
ass
woke up
is
with
screwed.
yeah. I woke up the next day with like pains in my arm, like arm
Oh,
hurts,
Godfrey,
you know?
we should edit that out because that's not something you want to admit, man.
Yeah, you get tired after playing with your Wii.
I was sweating, man.
I was sweating bricks.
Last episode of Gamertag Radio, your brother had said that Madden was not fun using the Wiimote.
Nah. Nobody. I mean, everyone was playing it because it was Madden, but it wasn't like wow, Madden. Like they were like kind of bored of it after a while. So
See, that's my biggest worry about the Wiimote is that it's just not going to be a good experience for a lot of the games, and so the thing isn't going to be. I'm worried about third-party titles basically because I trust Nintendo to be able to make good games for the Wiimote,
Yeah.
and then third parties not being able to.
But that's the thing. This is a launch. These are like launch games. Eventually, later on, there's gonna be better games. Because developers right now, this is like too new for them. So I know Nintendo got it locked down with great games like Zelda and Wii Sports and stuff like that. But I don't know. The other games, it's just like eh.
So how was WarioWare? Was that cool? Because WarioWare has always been.
Oh yeah, we were there. We were there for like the longest, man. I think that one and Wii Sports was the game that we were playing like the most. Especially the females, they were like there the whole time, playing that game. And it's pretty quick. It was a demo, so eventually we were playing the same mini games over and over again. But like there was one you have to like jump rope. You have to
Oh,
you gotta
God.
be like jumping. Yeah, it looks kind of stupid with the controller, but everybody started laughing.
Yeah.
So
This
it's cool.
sounds like this would be something that'd be funny to have a camera at.
Yep. And if you're drunk, even better.
Were they serving drinks there?
Oh, of course, man. I was drinking Coronas all the way, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Next topic.
Okay, so EA is finally snuggling up with the Xbox Live. They're selling extra content for EA games on the Xbox Marketplace. Some of the content makes sense, stadiums for Madden 07, but then the other content doesn't make so much sense. You could buy 5 to 6 minute strategy videos for Madden 07. Do you really need the help with tutorials?
You know, or you could just, I don't know, go
Play the game.
Go to gamerfacts.com.
Yeah, you
Watch
get
a football game.
I mean, if you really need to like play and practice, I don't know, go to any kind of used game store and pick up Madden 01 for whatever system. It's the exact same game. I mean, you can learn to play it just fine.
And there's also going to be throwback uniforms for Madden 07 and possibly mini games for Madden 07.
The mini games, well, I don't know how good a mini game
Like
for football would
inject the steroids? Or
Yeah.
beat up the hooker?
be. Or crash your motorcycle.
Or father the kid?
Be an accomplice to murder, but somehow still be allowed to play in the NFL.
Exactly. There's all sorts of mini games you can play with the NFL.
Well, anyway, although I don't know how good mini games would be for football, I think that would be about the only worthwhile content. Everything else just seems kind of ridiculous.
It's going to be John Madden Hot Dog Bonanza.
Sweet.
Find the six-legged turkey for John Madden for the Thanksgiving game.
Actually, I think one of the other things they're going to do is like they're going to have other games used as well, like the Tiger Woods PGA golf games, where you actually be able to have to go to a pro store and buy stuff for your golf or buy extra courses. So those kind of things make sense.
No, it doesn't. They should put the courses in the game so you can play the game the way you paid the money for the game. Give me the content for the game.
At least you're not bitter.
No,
I
you
hate
pay
when
for
they do that.
You pay for the engine. That's what you get on the disc.
It's like that
You have
Gran
to buy
Turismo
everything else. It's like a mod.
crap. It's the same damn thing. Oh, you can buy the game for $50.
You're right.
But you don't get any cars or anything. If you want the content of the game, EA is a whore. They fill their pants with pudding and parade around the street.
That's the
Hence
definition
EA.
of a whore?
Apparently, I don't know. It just kind of came out of my mouth. I don't know what it means.
Next topic.
Last week, Nate Dogg sent us mail asking if he should still buy a next-gen console if they're going to continue to make games for the current gen. Well, Jamie McDowell, who's the vice president for Sony Europe, chimed in on this issue.
On his note, it got that far?
Wow. We got some pull, man. We just forwarded it right to him.
Apparently, Sony's finally listening to the show. So when he was asked how much life do you think there's left in the PS2, he said, well, if it's anything like the PS1, another 5 or 6 years. I would say we're probably around the halfway mark right now. So there's an awful lot of legs left in the PlayStation 2. And it's still the best-selling console in Europe by a country mile.
They really think the PlayStation 2 is going to be around
the
for like
crow flies.
12 years?
I thought they had said that about the PlayStation 3, that they wanted this to be a 10-year console.
I remember
heard
hearing
that
that too.
Sony just made up on a whim.
Yeah, they do.
They like have a bag of like a categories dice just with random answers. They have like an 8-ball.
This isn't helping us shake our pro Microsoft reputation.
It's like a PlayStation 1 console, and you press a little button, and it flips up, and it's got the little magic 8-ball dice in there, and they just shake it up. And yes, 1080p. So high def doesn't start until we say it does, and shake up.
Doesn't start till the
PlayStation
magic
1.
8 ball says it does. Signs pointing no.
It's just like they just say the most random stuff.
Here's the Sony quote of the week. Okay, this also comes from Jamie McDowell, Vice President of Sony Europe. Remember 2 shows ago we said that Sony wasn't going to release the PlayStation 3 until March 07?
In Europe.
Yeah, well, apparently I guess the Europeans don't actually mind, because Jamie says European consumers have shown that historically they don't mind the delays, because they end up buying as many PlayStations, if not more, than the US and Japan. In Europe, it doesn't seem that the release of our platforms after the US and Japan in the long run affects how consumers feel. So see? They have nothing to grief about.
What a...
He's a. That's all I can say about that.
Well, here you go. Here's a perfect opportunity for some mail. I know for a fact we have forum posters and members who are from the UK and Europe. Why don't we see what they think about this statement, if they really don't mind if stuff is delayed that much.
If you're European, please record an audio message and send it to us at vgs@gamercastnetwork.com, and we'll play it on the air. And that was our Sony quote of the week.
Next topic.
A lot of that article was just griefing on Sony for no good reason. As much as I like doing that, it's like they didn't even really show anything, and they're just like everybody's assuming the worst. I'm actually starting to feel bad. I want them to come out and do something bad, so then we have an excuse. Now it just sounds like, I mean, we've been driving Sony into the ground for so many months now. It's just like, all right, enough. I think we've made our point.
I really am kind of at this point hoping that this PlayStation 3 comes out and just makes Grandma cream her jeans in the grave. That
Well,
it's
this one-
so freaking sweet.
I had a talk at work today, and the guy brought up Sony in the course of this discussion, and he was talking about the same kind of things that we keep hearing, is that the developers hate the PlayStation 3 because the architecture is so different and all this and that. And he said, well, the same thing happened with the PlayStation 2. Look at the games that came out when the PlayStation 2 first came out, and they're just like these, they're a shadow of like Resident Evil 4 and God of War and all these other games once people finally figure out how to program for it. And I guess that's what Sony's shooting for, is longevity, where you can keep putting out cutting-edge games for at least 10 years or whatever. And Microsoft just like, well, we want to make games right now, and they got the highest turnover in being able to make games because no one's doing anything different as far as programming.
With the PlayStation 3, there's really no experience there. No one knows how to program this thing the right way.
Right, exactly.
And once it gets there in 2 or 3 years, you're probably going to see some really, really good game.
You're right. The same thing happened with PlayStation 2. They constantly complained the first couple of years how hard it was to develop games for the PlayStation 2.
I think when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out, that was like the epiphany of everything you could do with the PlayStation 2. By that time, they figured out how to do everything.
See, I don't consider anything the epiphany of PlayStation 2 till God of War.
Yeah, God of War is pretty good. And actually, that was a good game design, because it actually played well. Graphically, it was...
It was only okay graphically.
All right, so you guys don't think that that was the best PlayStation game that came out?
I do.
I think it's pretty good. Yeah, no, from a game design point of view, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was the best looking game.
Well, I don't care if it's the best looking. In my humble, and this is my personal opinion, it is the best game for the PlayStation.
So what was best looking game, do you think? Resident Evil, maybe?
Lego Star Wars.
Your mom.
Maybe one of the Final Fantasies
Yeah,
or something.
like 10. Final Fantasy 10 looked pretty
Okay,
good.
Okay. I was just curious.
MGS2, when it first came out, looked really
Yeah,
good.
that's true.
It had some really nice effects in there.
Next topic.
At the EA Superman Returns Community Day in Orlando, Florida, Chris Palladino. So, Chris, what's going on down there?
I am down here representing Microsoft for the Superman Returns Community Day. They have, 10 or 15 different websites and some comic book guys and some video game websites. And we spent, a couple hours last night and pretty much all day today with Superman Returns, specifically for the 360, although it is coming out, I believe, on the PS2, the Xbox, and the 360.
Who are the comic book guys there? They have the writers?
But there are 2 or 3 different guys from comic book websites here, which is kind of cool. Some of them haven't even played games at all, so it's interesting to watch them pick up the 360 controller and go, egads, why there's so many buttons here.
Are there any like comic book writers or any comic book artists or anything?
No, they're all websites and stuff, community kind of guys. The cool things about these events is that they're more for the, not the big, huge mainstream. You know, you're not going to see Wizard here, the comic
Or
magazine.
Microsoft.
Yeah, you won't see Microsoft or EA. Usually, yeah.
Or Christopher Reeves?
Oh, God.
That was
It's
just
fine.
poor.
It's fine now. He's dead.
Have you actually had a chance to play the game?
One of the big problems that they're having with the Superman game is it's Superman, so he's invincible, he can't be killed, he stops, he can, basically he's just an unstoppable train wreck, and he can just do whatever he wants and nobody can really do anything to him. So rather than just throwing kryptonite everywhere, one of the things that they actually did a really good job with was figuring out, all right, how do we get this thing to be fun? So they have this idea where Metropolis City has health, and as you run through the city, the goons are coming in there beating the city up, and the city has a health bar, and the city's health bar is going down. And it's kind of like off in the corner of the screens, you'll see little threat indicators popping up, and you'll head towards the threat indicators and dispatch whatever bad guys are there. So with that dynamic that you have Superman, and it's not a matter of what you can and can't do, it's how can you be in 10 places at once. So you have to prioritize what is the most important threat to take care of and fly around, and, do you save Lois Lane, or do you go beat Metallo up?
Beat Metallo up. Lois wasn't that hot in this movie.
You can get any woman you want. You're Superman. I also do a lot better than Lois Lane. All she does is get kidnapped.
Well, and it's not a movie game. I mean, you're not just playing the movie. There are movie tie-ins.
Thank God.
The game.
I was going to say, is Richard Pryor in it?
No, but Snoop Cosby certainly is a special part band.
At least they didn't make it like every other superhero
I take
game.
3 cents off every box of pudding pop.
I'm a crazy plan for world domination.
Because every other Superman game, it's like Goon A with a pistol can hurt you. So
Well, that's what they
good
were-
that They
they
didn't
were-
do that.
They talked about, I mean, basically, Tehran Studios they're the dudes that just churn out the sports games, so they're known for their sports titles. So they're doing a non-sports title, plus it's Superman, who's known worldwide. Plus, there hasn't been a good Superman game yet, so they were explaining, that's a heck of a lot of pressure to live up against. Those have been very large shoes to fill. So they had a bunch of design decisions, and they came out with a concept that actually works real well.
Okay, now off the record.
Alright, well, there's kittens in the game that you can rescue. Sweet! Bizarro, help everyone! That little troll dude swing it like a bat and nail some chicken out outer space.
Is there any multiplayer?
There's no multiplayer. They wanted to really concentrate on the single-player experience, make it better. They built the game from the ground up, so it's not even using, like, the Godfather engine, for example. It does use the Havoc physics engine, so everything has physics.
What other villains do you know that are in the game?
The villains that are in the game, you got Lex, of course. You have Metallo. There's a guy called Riot. There's a guy called Mongol. They didn't want to throw too much at it because then it would be overwhelming. You don't want to just have every single Superman bad guy ever. But because they had basically built the engine from the ground up, they did want to give it a little bit more of an action feel than the movie had, because the movie was more of a drama and a character development kind of movie, so probably wouldn't be as fun to play.
Was there like a romance in the game?
Not that I...
Like he had to woo Lois Lane?
Well, I mean, there was that scene with Bizarro when he was trying to kiss Superman. Superman had kryptonite lipstick on and stuff. It was very awkward. And
there was fumbling and hands everywhere.
Yeah, Bizarro, sorry.
I said, Chris, I can't remember if you said this yet, but when is the retail date?
I don't think they have announced the retail date. It's probably, I really don't know, Tom, to be honest. I want to say end of next month.
Will it be available for PS3?
It's going to be. They did not announce that.
But can I ask you some of the Superman powers? Can you use heat vision, right?
Yes, you got heat vision.
Can you use frost breath?
Yeah, frost breath. I was looking for the secret code to do the Superman-branded saran wrap out of his chest, but I couldn't find the combination.
That was a great power.
You got the heat vision, the cold breath, the super speed, which actually is really cool. Everything kind of gets blurry around the corners of the screen, and this cool sound, the sound of like almost cake slapping in the wind kicks in. And the game is huge. It's an 80 square mile radius, and you can go up over 5,000 feet into the air. And they basically built Metropolis from the ground up because they didn't really have a working version of Metropolis in the DC universe. They didn't have a reason to. So these guys were basically given the reins from DC to say, all right, make Metropolis. Make it cool, and this will now be Metropolis. It will be official in the canon. So they did. And I think Superman can fly at something crazy like 600 miles an hour. So it feels like you're flying at 600 miles an hour through the city, which is kind of neat.
All right, one last question, Chris. Who would win in a fight, Spider-Man or Batman?
Spider-Man or Batman?
Yes.
Oh, it depends who's writing it.
Yeah, that's the right answer.
That was my response.
That is the right answer. Okay.
Yeah, hey, did I pass some kind of geek comic test that I wasn't aware
You
of?
did, yes. Congratulations.
Yeah, baby.
You haven't been on our forums lately, have you? There's been a long Batman versus Spider-Man thread.
Okay, so yeah, it depends on who's writing it, but if you were writing it, who would win?
Batman. Yeah.
If
I'm not asking you, idiots. I'm asking him.
If I was writing it, Punisher would come in and kill them both.
Well,
so it wouldn't matter.
Next topic.
It's that time again for the mailbag.
So this email is from Raiden Soldier. His question is, why is Europe constantly behind Japan and the US when it comes to release dates, news coverage, and special events? X06 in Spain? What was Microsoft thinking? You'd be better off hosting in the UK with a more dedicated fan/gamer base. Why are the UK and other European gamers always waiting longer than other gamers for everything?
Well, that's because they don't care.
Exactly, right.
That's what the guy from Sony said. I mean,
according to Sony, you guys don't mind.
I don't even know why you're asking that question. You clearly don't care.
You've been told that you don't care, and Sony knows because the next-gen console wars start when they say it does. So,
in all honesty, and I don't know if this is the actual answer, I do believe it's simply because, like, America and Japan are the two biggest markets. They're the top priorities.
But didn't they just say that they sell more in Europe?
Sony says random constantly.
That's true.
Well, actually, it was kind of weird that X06 was held in Spain. Came out of left field when I heard that one.
What the hell's wrong with Spain?
Well, nothing's wrong with Spain, but
What the hell's wrong with playing left field?
Well, Spain is not known for a gaming country.
yeah, I would think they'd held in like the UK, or I never associate video games with Spain that much.
All right, what do you associate with Spain?
Naked chicks and drunkenness.
Yeah, Spaniards, bullfights. I don't know much about Spain. It's over there somewhere. They don't care about delays anyway, so...
This is from the Iron Muffin. What do you guys think is the biggest guilty geek pleasure? Action figures, role-playing, like D&D, Star Wars, Star Trek, or maybe something else? Want to share some interesting geek moment in your life? Chad, I think this question is directed at you.
Why me?
Look around the room that you're currently sitting in.
What's up with the room you're currently...
Wall-to-wall action figures and comic books and...
Lots of comic books, statues, posters, DVDs,
programming books.
Yeah, a couple computers.
So, Chad, what's your most guilty pleasure?
Let's do that. Just go around the room. What's your biggest dork moment that you'd hate to admit? Just do it now.
Can I go first?
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah.
When we used to turn down going out with Christy and Sarah to play Counter-Strike on Friday nights.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he was living with me at the time, so yeah.
Wow. I can't
Wow.
beat that.
Wow, that did just take the cake.
Damn,
right
we
there.
should have made him go last.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make something up. Drilling holes in the wall to watch my sister have sex with someone, but I don't have a sister.
While playing D&D.
While playing D&D, and
watching the Thundercats.
watching Thundercats,
And dressed up as a magician.
yeah, in a cosplay outfit, using Star Wars action figures to reenact Star Trek.
No,
scenes.
you're playing D&D while LARPing in the Star Wars universe. Huh? There you go. Look at the links we have to make up to match what you just did.
I can't match that.
But we cover everything. I mean, we love comic books. We love tape. We love dice
Apparently
and
you
paper
don't
and
love
pen
women.
role-playing games.
Apparently not women.
Yeah.
Not vaginas. We don't have any need for those.
I got a good dork moment for you.
Sure.
Moment for you.
You got a good dork Mormon? What's his name?
He's in Utah.
It's funny because it just happened today at lunch. It was me and one of the other guys who's a dork, and he drives a Toyota Prius. Shows how dorky he is. And there was a couple other people there that we were going to lunch with. There was 4 of us in the car, and they were talking about, the guy, he needs new tires on his car because they're getting kind of bald. And he said something about, I don't want to spin out again. And my comment was, again? And he went to tell the story about how he spun out in the winter because his tires were so bald. And then we were talking about the Prius being like a supercar because it does so many cool things. So anyway, my comment was something about the Prius has a saving throw versus spinning out, and the Prius guy laughed pretty hard at it, and everyone else was just like, "What?" That's probably not the worst one I've ever had, but that was just kind of uncomfortable because I thought I was making a funny joke, and 2 of the other people were just like, "Can we get out?"
Dared. Yeah, I get that
Back
a
to work.
lot.
Well, that was episode 6 of the Video Game Show. Remember to send in that email for the World of Warcraft giveaway at vgs@gamercastnetwork.com.
Oh, I know my biggest dork moment. Look, dude, I totally was on this video game podcast for like a year and a half without getting paid.